What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with review for Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 2, Episode 7. No Love Lost is the title of the episode, you guys. So, before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel, and you guys are not yet subscribed, I need you guys to do me a huge solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me foot the bill at the end of it. You guys know what you can do to help me, right? Thumbs up the video, you guys. That's big. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications, and share the video. And once more, thumbs up the video. So you guys, with that out the way, without further ado, let's discuss Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. I want to say 4 so badly, but it's 3. Let's talk about it. All right, you guys. So we'll start up and we'll talk about Jukebox, and we'll just work our way around this episode. So we see Jukebox. Jukebox is at Nicole's grave, and a car pulls up behind her. I was like, oh God, that is gonna be that mother. But fortunately for Jukebox, it wasn't her mother, it was her father. So her father just basically let Jukebox know that, hey, you know, Nicole's mother and I, we're getting a divorce from each other. It was inevitable. He figured it would happen when she went off to college, but her death kind of expedited the things, right? So he does tell Laverne that, you know, he's happy that, you know, she was in Nicole's life, that Nicole experienced love, and that if she needs anything from him, reach out to him. But he also asked her, you know, that tape of you and Nicole singing, whatever happened to that tape? She told him she doesn't know, which we all know. She got the tape. Remember when Marvin whooped her ass? Whooped her like a man off the street. That's where it is, right? So then we do see Juke. So Juke is in, I think this is like Bible study. We see Kenya there, and this man is just basically preaching about, you know, do not take your wife's sister as a rival wife and then have sexual relations with her. Do not have sexual so it's, sorry guys, somebody found me on Facebook and asked me about one of my uncles, but that's okay, neither here nor there. But so yeah, he's talking about don't take your wife's sister as a rival wife and have sexual relations with her. Don't have sexual relations with your neighbor's wife and defile yourself. And then he goes on to talk about homosexuality, and I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. So after that, you guys, the guy that's been trying to holler at Juke for quite some time, what's his name again? Corey, I believe. He came up to Jukebox once again, trying to get Jukebox's number from her, right? And like I said, he was trying to get her phone number from her, and she gave it to him this time. I was like, Jukebox, you know that you don't have any kind of interest in this boy, but whatever. So then we see Jukebox later in the episode, and she was at home. She was, you know, I think she was cooking something, and Marvin came in and wanted to have a conversation with her. Once again, this conversation with Marvin is nothing there between she and Marvin. It was very awkward. So he asked her when was she going to tell him about Kenya. She said, I really didn't have any intentions of telling you about her. He says, all Kenya is a broad who had a baby and left me and you. And she's like, so does that make you any better than her? So he says, she wasn't there for you, but I was. True, Marvin, you was there for Jukebox, but did you forget that you beat your daughter like a man off the street? Like, anything Kenya has done can't compare to what you did to her. So then we see Jukebox later in the episode. So she went to this store to get the VHS tapes fixed. So the guy told her he can fix it. He'd have to read through it, and it costs about $20. She says, cool. So she pays him $20. Damn it, I wish I had done that years ago. I don't know, because this is in the 1990s. Because I have a tape of my 3rd birthday that got caught in the VCR, and we never got it fixed. So then we see Juke and Corey. So they did go out with each other, right? And at the end of the date, he kissed her. I was like, oh, that was the most uncomfortable kiss I've ever saw in my life. Because we all know that Jukebox is a lesbian. It was just so uncomfortable. But then we do see at the end of the episode that Jukebox, she did get the tape repaired, and she dropped it off for Nicole's dad. So she rang the doorbell and she left. When she left, Howard walked up. Howard didn't see her, she saw him. Howard went to Nicole's dad's door. He wants to ask her some questions about his good old partner, Shannon Burke. We're going to talk about Shannon Burke in just a little bit, you guys. But let's pause here. Let's move forward. All right, you guys. So I want to go ahead and talk about Howard real quick. So, Howard is down to the police station, right? And Howard sees Scrap's mom in a CI room, right? And he's asking, like, what is she doing down here? So one of the cops was like, she doesn't believe what they're saying about, Scrap taking his own life. We all I knew people wouldn't believe that. Knowing how Scrap was, why would Scrap just say, let me take a gun and pop my own self, right? So Howard finds out that Scrap wasn't the CI. The CI is his mother. I knew it from the jump. I was like, Scrap was loyal to Rock. We knew that. Rock knew that. I don't know how Rock could question. I know she got it from Howard, but you didn't try to confirm that. Yes, which she did try to confirm it, right? That was when Marvin went to his cousin's place, right? But Marvin never really confirmed it. Marvin didn't get concrete proof. And y'all took Scrap out for no damn reason. R.I.P. to my nigga Scrap. So, we didn't see Howard and Rock. They met up later at the end of the episode as well. And she's telling him that Burke is going to be a problem. He's like, nah, she's just a dog with a bone at this point. He says, but your boyfriend, is he going to be a problem? She's like, he doesn't know anything. He says, so he's a problem. I was like, no, Symphony is not a problem. Symphony doesn't know anything. Like, don't hurt Symphony. Oh, God, Rock. Girl, if you hurt Symphony, if you do anything to Symphony, right, that's going to be an issue. But we're going to come back to that in just a little bit. So I want to pause with them. And we're going to move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up, let's talk about Warrell and Unique. So you guys remember that Warrell and Unique, they run an operation out there in Jersey, right? So Warrell comes up to Unique saying, like, did you talk to Rock about having some of the guys move to another building here? And, Neek is just like, Rock is an investor. And, that they think for themselves. Because Unique is a smart person. Unique knows that the only reason why Rock has him up there is because they're a problem for her. And she wants them out of her hair while she figures out how to take out the problem. So Unique is trying to make sure that even when she try to take out the problem, he ain't gonna be back in the same situation that he was in previously. So then Marco, one of the Italians, pulls up, and I'll explain what happened a little later in the review. But Marco pulls up to get something from them, and then Marco was asking Unique about Marvin. He said, fuck Marvin. So he says, he asking me to do something for him. Is he good for the money? And Unique was like, Marvin pays what he owes. So, ooh, that ain't gonna go well. But let's pause here, you guys. Let's move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, let's talk about Lou. When it comes to Lou, Lou, I think you are writing your death certificate. And I think it's going to, I know we all been discussing Lou for quite some time. I don't see Lou making it too much longer. And honestly, I feel like Lou is going to be taken out by his own family. That's what I'm starting to see. I've been seeing it, but this episode really solidified it for me that I think Lou is going to be taken out by Rock or Marvin. More specifically, I think it's going to be Rock because the way that Lou is moving. So you guys remember in the episode, we didn't have an episode last week, but you guys remember the episode before that was when Lou took out Crown Camacho, right? So this week's episode, we see Lou in the studio, and it's about damn time. Him and fake ass J-Lo, they having sex. Well, they ain't really having sex because she said, you more focus on that song instead of effing me. So the radio, even her moans were annoying. So some dudes bust into the studio looking for Crown because Crown, I guess Crown got some 50, like $50,000 from these dudes, and he put up the studio as collateral. So they want their money, or if they don't get their money, then that studio is gonna belong to them. So then we later in the episode we see as Rock was having a meeting with Juliana and her cousin, which I'll talk about that in just a minute. But they were having a meeting, and then Lou got out of his car, and the dudes just came up and busted out the back tail light, right? Then they beat the shit out of Lou. I was like, Lou, was it a good idea to take out Crown now? Because now they're coming after you and not Crown Camacho. So then we do see Lou. So Lou is having a conversation with that grimy ass Cartier. And I'm like, this is where I was like, yeah, Lou, something bad's gonna happen to you. So Lou is trying to get the money from Cartier, right? He doesn't want to go through Rock. He doesn't want Rock having anything. He doesn't want Rock touching the studio. I was like, I'd rather go through Rock than go through Cartier. I don't trust Cartier. Like, for something about Cartier just doesn't resonate with me. It just, like I say, the nigga is grimy, and I don't see it for Cartier. So Cartier basically tells Lou that he'll help him, but he wants half of Crown's portion in the studio. He'll be a silent partner in this. I was like, Lou, this is not going to end well for you. I just don't see it ending well at all. You know what I'm saying? I just really don't see this ending well. Do you guys see it ending well? Let me know in the comments below. Let's pause here. Let's move forward. So, Marvin. This is what I was talking about just a few minutes ago. Marvin met up with Marco. So Marvin is telling Marco, you guys remember also in the last episode when Marvin was asking Marco where did he live. So Marco lives in the same vicinity of Tony. I'm still confused about this Tony situation. I'm thoroughly confused about Tony. Why Marvin is on his head about finding, why was he on his head about finding Tony? Is it literally because Tony snitched on him? I think I said that a few weeks ago. I think that's what it is. I think it's the fact that Tony just snitched on him, although she didn't go to court. Like she didn't testify. So I don't understand it. So Marvin is telling Marco that he has a rat problem in his neighborhood, and his black ass can't go in the neighborhood without people, screaming, calling the cops and things like that, right? So Marco tells him, hey, how much are you pay? How much is his paying? He said $5. I don't know if that was $5,000, $500, $500,000. I'm gonna assume it was probably like $5,000. I have to remember this is 1991, 92, so $5,000 then went further than what $5,000 in 2022 will go. So I was like, okay, even $500 will go further in 1991 than it will in today. God, I wish I could go back to the 90s. But I was a kid in the 90s. But I mean, the price of gas, it was just a lot of stuff in the 90s was cheap. Why do I have to be an adult in 2022? So we see Marvin. So Marvin pulled up to the projects, right? So at the projects, they had people standing out in the hallway, and Marvin's like, why are people out here looting? So he goes into the apartment where they are, right? He was like, why y'all just in here counting money, and you got people out there waiting for some stuff, some drugs. So they're counting, right? And Lou is there as well. And Lou's like, this is all the money that y'all made. They were like, we just put some product out there, so we haven't really got anything back yet. So Lou took the money. I was like, ooh. This was the first point in the episode. I was like, yeah, Lou, I don't know how much longer you gonna last around. Cause taking from your sister, not a smart move. And Marvin told him, you can't take that without counting it. He's like, I'll count it up here. Okay, Marvin. Okay, Lou, you go off. So we see Marvin. So Marvin is in his anger management class, right? And it's graduation day, so they're all finished with anger management. The instructor is giving them congratulations. She's toasting to him. You remember the guy Gerald that Marvin got into it with, that they were gonna fight each other? They getting along with each other just swimmingly. So then the instructor comes over to Marvin and gives her her business card. Call her sometime. I was like, ooh, Marvin, you about to get you some. So you guys, Marco. Marco and the racist one that was so against Kanan having sex with that girl when him and Rock went on that little getaway. They're going to be going to take out Tony. So we see Tony and her husband. They are having sex. I was like, "Ooh, Tony, girl, I hope that was a good one for you, because that is the last time you're gonna ever feel that pleasure of ecstasy." So she and her husband finish having sex. He leaves the room. She takes a line of coke, and then in busts Marco and his boy and pop, pop, pop Tony. I was like, I knew it was gonna happen. I When I saw it, I was like, I was wondering, they probably they gonna bust in the room and probably gonna shoot him first and then her, but nope. She was in the room by herself in middle of the forehead. I was like, well, damn. Rest in peace to you, Tony. Won't miss you. Really won't miss you, Tony. But hey, it is what it is. So her husband comes back into the room and is fighting with Marco and his boy. So Marco and her husband are rolling around on the floor. Marco tells his boy, take her husband out. So he got the gun pointed, and somehow he took out Marco. I was like, damn. So Marco got the gun. I was like, not Marco, but her husband got the gun and started shooting. I'm like, sir, what are you shooting at? He shot the wall. He shot towards the door. I was like, sir, what are you shooting at? You can tell you've never shot a gun in your life. But he got hit as well. So that's that. Tony is not among the living anymore. So sorry to you, Tony. So sorry to you. All right, you guys. So I'm going to pause here and we're going to move forward. All right, you guys. Next up, let's talk about that damn Kanan. So, Kanan. You guys remember, Palomar gave Kanan that gun, right, to go, handle his business with Fame, right? So he got the gun and he got whatever paperwork Howard gave him, right? So then we see he went over to Palomar's place to give Palomar the gun back. So Palomar, she let him in. Now she had on, I can't remember what she had on, but whatever it was, her top was closed, right? So then when he came in the door, you saw her unbutton it. I was like, girl, you might want to keep that gun in your waistband, in your purse, under a wig, somewhere, because girl, you're going to need that gun pretty soon. Because once Raquel finds out, because she going to find out. Once Raquel finds out, you are going to be in deep SHIT. So it's just nasty to me. I mean, she's just coming on to Kanan. I'm like, this is a teenage boy, and this is your daughter's boyfriend, and you just gonna have sex with him. Okay. So then we see him and Symphony out, right? So Symphony is telling Kanan, like, hey, he got a job offer, and the job offer is in Charlotte, right? So he's gonna be moving there. So he's talking about he doesn't want Rock to know, but Kanan's like, yeah, the only reason why you brought me here is because you want my mom to know. So he says, I feel like you should tell her. So they ended up leaving, right? Who was outside of the little cafe that they were at? Burke. Burke calls in Symphony's license plate. Then she follows behind Symphony. Then she pulls Symphony over. So Symphony's like, why are you pulling me over? She doesn't have any reason to pull him over. So then she starts questioning him. The night that the cop got shot, there was, like a roadblock here. And what were you doing in this area? What were you doing with Kanan Stark? He says, Kanan Stark was a student in my class. She said, he's in high school. He said it was an after school thing. She said, but you had a relationship with his mother. He's like, what does this have to do with anything? She says, I'm the one I'm asking the questions. Girl, I hope somebody finds a big enough bullet and just makes her bite it. Oh, God, Burke got to go. Burke has got to go. Burke has got to go. Burke has got to go. So she did ask him, do you know his father? So he didn't answer any questions. So then we see Burke. She's at the station, right? and she's finding out about Howard. So you guys remember, she found out that Howard was an undercover cop, right? So she finds his files, and they find out that he had a CI that was 17, right? But then later in the episode, she's talking about his CI was 16, and it was Raquel. So she, now mind you, while they're talking, this guy that gave her this information, he told her that nobody can find out. Meanwhile, there's a whole cop behind you listening to everything that you and Burke are talking about. Burke, girl, you might want to stop while you're ahead. Because I don't see it ending well for you, sis. I don't see it ending well for you, sister. So Burke, she's put two and two together about Kanan, about Rock, and about Howard. But she has no proof at this point. Oh gosh, she's gonna get it. That nosy bitch gonna get it. Somehow, some way, that bitch is gonna find a way to get Kanan's DNA and Howard's DNA to prove that Howard is his father. So, Kanan and Palomar, they are in bed they done had sex with each other, right? Corinne opens the door and finds them, and child, Palomar is the world's worst mother. She told her daughter that she needs to learn how to keep her man. First of all, lady, that's not a man, that's a teenage boy. Corinne, I think you might have wrote your mama a death certificate because you went and told Raquel. Palomar, bitch, I hope you know how to use that. Again, I really hope you know how to use that gun. Shout out to KJ Smith. She retweeted me because I tweeted that today. That I hope Palomar knows how to use that gun. I really pray that Palomar knows how to use that gun. Because, sis, I don't see you lasting too long. I don't see you lasting long, sis. I don't see sis lasting. But let's pause here, you guys, and let's wrap up the episode. All right, you guys, so let's talk about Raquel. So we see Raquel, so she is out with that grimy ass Cartier, right? So Cartier is just basically telling her, so they're eating caviar. And there's one thing in this world that I just don't think that even if I got rich and famous, I just don't think that I would ever be able to eat caviar. It just wouldn't be for me. But they at this fancy restaurant, and then this guy named Tremont comes up. So Tremont and Cartier are business associates, right? But Raquel is looking at this like, oh, because I think Raquel is starting to see a little crack in the business, right? Because eventually Cartier told Tremont to leave, right? And Raquel was like, you told me that if there's no something about insurrection or something, I can't remember what the saying was, but she's putting a little bug in his ear. So then we later see as Tremont is mind you, when he came in, bruh man had no glasses on. Bruh man's face was clear. Bruh ain't nothing wrong with bruh man's eyes. He wasn't bruised up. But then when we later see him, bruh man got sunglasses on. Bruh man got a big red spot right here. And he was like, he fell in the shower. Okay. So Rock was like, how about I got a proposition for you, right? I can do for you what Cartier, the headache that you got with Cartier, I can alleviate that for you, basically. He don't really know Rock like that. He's like, what makes you think I won't go and tell Cartier that you just came to me? I don't think you're gonna do that, sir. So then we see Rock. So you guys remember that Rock has been looking for a home, right? So the realtor is telling Rock that, the seller is pleased with the money that she's putting up, right? But the HOA doesn't like the fact that she doesn't have proof of income, and she's like, I'm paying in cash. And the realtor was like, yeah, you are paying in cash, but they would like to know that you have proof of income, so that way you can keep up with the upkeep of the neighborhood, how high to cut the grass, your hedges, all that kind of stuff. They want to make sure that you can keep up with that. She says, well, tell them that I own a studio and a lawnmower. I was like, girl, ooh. That's why I think this is that's why I say this with Lou and Rock, it ain't going to end well. And I don't think it's going to end well for Lou. And that ain't even me whispering. I don't think it's going to end well for Lou. So then we see Rock. So Rock is having a meeting with Juliana and her cousin, right? And she's basically telling them about the expansion that she wants to do, how she wants to go into Maryland, the basically to go into the DMV area. I was like, Rock, ooh, you finna step on Cartier's toes, and I am here for it. Ooh, that's why I say, oh, poor Lou. Y'all know I like me some Lou. Lou, sir, oof. It ain't gonna end well for you, my brother. I think you're on the wrong side at this point, and it's gonna come to a head. Poor Lou. Meanwhile, while they're talking, old boy who is working with Tremont is eavesdropping on them. So he went back to Tremont, and they left, right? So you guys remember I told you earlier that Symphony is going to North Carolina. Is it North Carolina or Charlotte? He's telling Rock about that, and Rock tells him to do what's best for him. He says, I want what's best for you as well, right? So then he tells her about Burke, and she said, what did you tell her? He said, your secrets are safe with me, Rock. She says, I ain't got no secrets. I was like, God, I don't care who tell it. You got a boatload of secrets. Girl, I don't care who tell it. So y'all, then at the end of the episode, we see as Symphony was putting his stuff in the car, and we see Raquel. She driving down the street. She turns off her lights. She got a gun with a silencer on it. I'm like, Raquel, if you do that, you are fucking wrong. This man has helped you when it came to Kanan. When you needed Kanan out of New York after you had your own son go and shoot his father, he helped you, no questions asked, and you gonna repay him by putting a bullet in him? I would have been so pissed off at Raquel if she had done, like, I really would have been pissed off at Rock. Y'all know I love me some Rock, but baby, I would have been pissed at Rock if she had done that. Like, it would have been no coming back for me and Rock. There would have been no coming back for me and Rock. Like, I would have been done with Rock. I really would have been done with Rock if she had done that, because that would just be the ultimate form of disrespect, to just take this man out. You never told, like, I think she had to do that because of thinking about the conversation that she had with Howard, because this is all because of Howard. Howard had you take out Scrap, because Howard told you One-Eyed Jack was a snitch. One-Eyed Jack wasn't a snitch. And I guess she had to think about, I guess in the back of her mind, she had to think about that. Symphony is not your enemy. One, Symphony doesn't know what you do. He knows you do something, right, that's not above board, but he doesn't know everything. And Symphony has not given you anything to believe that he would rat you out. Like, Symphony has been a good guy to Rock. Baby, I promise y'all, if Rock had took him out, I would have been done with Raquel. I would have been done with Raquel in that moment. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Good episode. Once again, Palomar, bitch, I hope you know how to use a gun, and I hope you know how to bob and weave, because I'm pretty positive Raquel is coming for that ass. That's all I gotta say. I believe Raquel is coming for you, sis. Hope you know how to use a gun and bob and weave. That's it. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode, you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications. Share the video, you guys. Until the next time, you guys, please stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember, you guys, wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Also, you guys, be sure to thumbs up the video. And I'll see you guys for Zatima. So Love and Marriage Huntsville. You guys will see that review sometime tonight. You probably see it before Married to Medicine comes on, because I'm going to be doing Married to Medicine today. So you'll see Love and Marriage Huntsville and Married to Medicine. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.